This conference will now be recorded.
Shall we start, Srinivas?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, some of the concepts yesterday pending. ma'am.
Yeah. So today I've included those things.
Okay.
The
Okay, ma'am.
data conversion. And yesterday you were you were about to do some exercise. Did you have you done it?
Yes, ma'am, I did that.
So you faced any issues there? Any challenges?
Yeah, as of now, I did not face any issues, ma'am.
Okay, then fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So going with data conversion, aggregate, row count, copy column, import column. So these are the ones which were pending from yesterday. So I'll show you today what are these things.
Okay.
So conditional split is done. Show you the data conversion. So here the data conversion is just a data type conversion. We can do it like city. Here we can here by default it is coming it as unistring, Unicode string. That means nvarchar. Nvarchar 30 it is coming up. So I can change it to nvarchar max. So whenever
Okay.
you change it to DT and text, that is nvarchar max, and max will have not, there will be no length fixed because it is a max. It will come up as a -1 in the SQL Server, right? So this is
Okay.
nvarchar max. So these type of changes we can, like data type changes, we can do it here. And here also the output alias name, we can put it as a different name, or
Okay.
we can put it as the same name like that. The length, precision, the scale, the code page. So everything, if the code page is there, then it will be come up. So here we don't have
Okay.
any code page, so it is not coming up. This is how we change the data types. This is only to change the data types. No calculations, nothing.
Okay,
Just only
ma'am.
to change data types. Yes.
In which cases we are using precision and scale?
Precision and scale for numeric.
Okay.
In this, I don't have any numeric. Okay, let's try with this. I'll show you. Okay.
Okay.
So after decimals, if you want two precisions
Okay.
and fine.
Okay. Good,
So
ma'am.
this is how, yeah. So this is only for the data conversion. So what we saw in derived column is, in derived column, we can convert the data type. We can even put a calculations on the new created columns. But here in the data conversion, this is only used for data converting the data types itself.
Okay.
Unless and until we don't require explicitly, we avoid this data conversion, as we can do in the SQL commands also directly as a cast or convert. We use it, right?
Yeah, typecast. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
cast and convert. So we can directly do it in the SQL commands itself if we can do it. So normally we don't do it unless there is a source from different flat files or an XML. Apart from
Okay.
any database source, we use this data conversion transformation here because it's just a straightforward. We do it for those things. And when the source is of SQL Server database, we'll
Mm-hmm.
do SQL command itself. Not required, right? This is waste of time because each and every task, each and every transformation will take its own time, will consume some memory in it, in memory. So
Okay.
yeah, the number of tasks increases, even the memory also will be increasing. And if the memory increases, so while running the package, it takes more time to debug and all.
Okay, ma'am.
So yeah, so the fine tuning of SSIS package is very much important. Apart from designing and development of SSIS package, there is one more thing like fine tuning of it, which is very much important for the production environment.
Okay.
So this is all about data conversion. For every task, we
Ma'am,
will have to show, yes.
for error configuration.
Yeah, the same thing for error configuration also, you will be having the same thing. Oh,
Mhm.
cancelled it. Yeah. Error configuration part is a similar for everything. It's a common thing. Ignore failure, redirect row, fail component, even for error and truncation. And the
Okay.
description will be coming it as a conversion. It's a
Okay.
description type. Yeah. So
Okay.
this part is common for all the tasks. There is no changes
Okay.
over there. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the simplest one, data conversion.
Mhm.
So copy column. So if I go with copy column, so I have a city here. So I
Mhm.
want one more column in the same table as a city2. Sorry, city2. No
Mhm.
calculation. I'm not doing any calculation. I'm not doing any conversions, nothing. I'm just replicating the same column with a different name. That's it. If I want to do that, and that too in the same table itself, I can just use copy column.
Okay.
So if I do destination, oh, destination. So city 2 has come up as we have added a new column, but it's just a replica
Mhm.
of this column. And if I create the table, so whenever you put OK, the table will be created.
Mhm.
Sorry, not at created. Database. Yep, the table has created. Whenever you put OK, it's just a table created. Table creation is done. Now I am mapping the columns. Column mapping is done. Even if the column names are same, you have to go to this tab and just ensure whether they are correctly mapped or not. Okay, so put
Okay,
OK.
ma'am.
And if I run this, cannot run like this. Sorry, connection manager is not there. What happened? Okay. So even for copy column also, if the source is from the SQL Server table, we'll not use this task because we can put it in a simple command itself, right?
Yes.
With the alias name, we can write a just small query. Suppose this is the table. So I want name as a different one. Then I can just at the end or at somewhere I can put name as name2. So in the SQL command, just as with alias name, I can achieve this. So whenever
ma'am.
a source is from a SQL Server table, we will not use any copy column, any data type changes, because we can handle it in a simple way in a SQL command itself. So
Yes.
so we have to make sure when the data is from apart from SQL Server table, we will be using those tasks, like if it's a XML, if it is a Excel, if it is a CSV, or
Okay.
if it is from other database like Oracle database. So we'll be using those things. Do you
Okay,
have a
ma'am.
knowledge on Oracle database?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let's see what happened. Copy column. Okay. The same thing came up.
Okay.
So just a straightforward one. This is a copy column transformation.
Okay.
So after that, copy column, what we saw, aggregate. So in the aggregate, we'll be using all the aggregate functions of SQL Server. So like if we want to, put a group by, if we want to put a group by on city, we can do this. So this is nothing but select star from the table group by city. And if we want to count of all the cities, we can just put operation as a count. If we want to put count distinct city, so we can opt for this operation. And here we don't get this max minimum because the city is of string. So if
Okay.
we have a column like with numeric or with integer, we'll get one more thing with max and minimum. Let's try with the GUID. No, GUID is a common system. Yeah. So if a column comes with a numeric or integer, what it will do is it will just add one more operation with max and min. So maximum, minimum, group by, count, count distinct. So these 5 type of operations we can do here.
Okay, ma'am.
There is one more option here in the advanced section. The key scale, the count distinct scale, auto extend factors, number of keys, count distinct keys. So what it does is number of keys means, so it will create a unique key combination on it. So if I put count distinct, so it will create a unique key. So if I put a number of keys like 2, so it will
Mm.
not exceed that number of keys. So normally we don't use these type of configurations. This is all not recommended. It's just a given as a separate extra conditions and all. We don't use these things for
Okay.
aggregate normally. So it's just for the DBA part of thing to fine tune the packages, to fine tune this transformation. So we'll left it blank as it is, because let it be the default values will come up. And if we put explicitly, again, there will be a blockage in the SQL Server. So we don't do any configuration here.
Okay.
So normally we'll do aggregation on this. So we'll have a 5 operations: group by, count, count distinct, maximum, and minimum. That's it.
Okay.
So here, and we can even put alias name of new column, what we want to have, like max or the count, something we can put. And this is also recommended only if the source is not from SQL Server table. Okay, if the source is not from SQL Server table, then only we'll be using this aggregate. Otherwise, we can handle it in a simple SQL command itself.
Okay.
So for every each and task, we'll have an advanced editor also. So the same thing will come up. The auto extend factors, validate external metadata. So validate external metadata is the data which is coming from the file, right? If we want to put the validation, we can put it as a true.
Okay.
Like if we want to put it as a false, what will happen is validation against the external data sources is delayed until runtime. So there will be a runtime delay. And if we want to put a runtime delay, sometimes we want like explicitly we want to put or we want to force a delay. So we can use at that point of time, we can use this as a false. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is aggregate. One more. Yeah, row count. Yes. See, row count is the number of rows it will count it. But what it expects is the number of count whenever it derives, right? The count has to be saved in one variable.
Okay.
Yeah, so that variable I can use in further calculations or in further transformations or in further tasks, so that I can use that variable there. It will not directly show me the row count anywhere. It has to be stored in a variable itself. So for that, I need to create a variable.
Okay.
Right click on the package itself, go to the variable part. So variable will be coming up like this in a separate pop-up. Create a new variable, add new variable. I've added a new variable as a row count var.
Ma'am, variable is same as the parameters?
No.
Okay.
Parameters are different, variables are different. Variables you are using to store the result sets while execution. Okay, or the stored for temporary purpose, it's just for the storage. And parameter, you're passing a value from outside.
Okay.
From a user will pass those parameter values from outside to execute this package, and those values will be carried over into the SSIS package.
Okay.
Right? So parameters are different and variables are different. So if for row count, I'm just showing you a simple variable. Later on in the variable and parameter, we have a separate session on it. Then I'll show you the detailed section, everything. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the variable I'm creating. The scope is package. That means this variable can be used anywhere in this package, but not outside this package. That means if I go to the Solution Explorer, my package name at present I am in package.dtx. So the variable now what I'm creating is the scope is package level. That means the variable can be used inside this package itself, but I cannot use that variable in other packages. Understood? So that is what it is meant by scope. The scope is package level. This variable can be used within this package itself. The data type is integer. Value I can give here a default value, or else if I put 0, it will take while calculation itself, the while runtime, it will take it and store it in this variable. So these all expressions and all I'll cover in a variable section, not here. So as of now, I've created a variable to store count of all the rows. Okay, I've created. Now double click on this. It will ask me the variable name. I'll assign whatever I've created just now, row count variable. Okay. So just run this. So how many rows? 19,061 rows.
614 rows.
Yeah, 614. Let's see what the variable name here is not updated, right? Because wait. So in the run execute, this variable name will not be updated because whenever we go break the chain, break the execution, it will again go back to the same number, the 0. But
Okay.
and if I want to store it in some destination, let's store it in some destination and check whether it is
Okay.
coming. Or what we can do is even we can create a script component here. Script component. Script. Script. Yeah. So for the script component, we have 3 parts. So one is for the source, and one is for the destination, and one is for the transformation. So these 3 options are for the script component, which is inside the data flow task, not in the control flow task. And the control flow task also we have a script component. Inside a data flow task also we do have a script component. But inside the data flow task, we have script component for 3 different categories. One is for the source, that is script is a source in the data flow and provides the data to output columns. One is for the destination, where the script is writing for the destination when the script is written for only for the transformation. So we have to check which for the purpose and the purpose which we decide, like if the script has to be written for the source itself, or the script has to be written for the destination, or the script has to be written for the transformation itself. If I put as a transformation, so the script language is C#. I can change the language to Visual Basic
Okay.
also. Both Visual Basic and C# will accept. This is a 2019 version, so even the C# and Visual Basic also comes with 2019 itself. Okay, let's go C#. Input columns, I'm putting all the inputs. Input outputs, connection manager. From here I can add a connection manager. See, closed connection manager, input. So these are the input script. Now I'll click on the edit script. So it will open one more Visual Studio instance. Take
Yes.
Let open. Yeah, it takes time. So until it gets opened, I cannot open anything else. It's taking a lot of time here. So normally it takes some time, but for the first time it takes a little bit more to open the Visual Studio tools for application. So this it opens a one more instance for Visual Studio as a VSTA. So
Okay, ma'am.
it takes time. Yeah. So before that, I'll show you one. I'll tell you one more thing. Fast parse properties in flat file connection. In the flat file connection manager, we have one property called fast parse.
Okay.
So if that is true,
Mm-hmm.
that means we are not validating each and every data type. And if I put it as a false, we are validating each and every data type. That means in the destination, if we have a different data type, it will not
Mm-hmm.
accept it. It will throw an error.
Okay.
And it will take some time. It will do the validation before doing a loading. It will do a validation. And if I put fast, it will not do a validation. It will just whatever it is, it will just go into there and insert it, even with the truncated values itself. So whenever we are sure that destination is correctly configured, destination table is correctly configured, everything, then we'll put fast parse as true. And if we are not sure whether the destination table has a correct data types or everything, we are not sure, then we'll put as a false and let the validation happen from the Visual Studio itself. Okay. So that is how we put there. It has opened now, the script component. So this is the script component we'll be using here. This is the main method. Whatever code we have to write in this method. Just a simple way. You need not to do, need not to learn the language at all. Just a simple way I'm showing you. And if we have a variables, we can call like this. Variables dot. If we have a connection manager, which I can use like this. So we have a help also. The same way we have to write it over there. So if you want to fire the warning, if you want to like throw an error. This is just an error exception case. This is how we can do it. Component name, fire warning as a default method here or the function here, the names, how we want to throw the error. This is like raise error. You know, in the SQL command, there is a function called raise error.
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So it's just a kind of raise error kind of thing. It will just throw an error and show like it's like user defined error configuration. So what we can define it, we can configure what error type or error message we want to show it.
Okay.
Okay, this is raise error. So the message will not come from the SQL Server engine. The message will come from the user perspective, what the user defines there. So here the user has defined as no rows were received. So whenever our event fails or our expression fails, then it will show it as no rows were received. This is a customized way of doing error handling. So what we'll do is tomorrow we'll do one simple program in this C#, okay? So that you can understand how the flow looks like.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
I'll give you one simple program. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'll show you. Here, I can add as a sorry. I'll show you in the script task itself. 1 minute. So suppose if a development team, like a front-end development team, has already defined the logic, all the business rules in the C# or VB, you can just take the code and put it here and run it.
Okay.
That is also one more way. Instead of converting all those business rules which are written in C#, you need to convert it. First you need to crack the business rule there, and then you have to decode it and code in a SQL Server or in SSIS. Instead of doing that, if you can do it straightforward, just take the script from them and you can put it here and run execute as it is. So even that
Okay.
can. So before that, we have to take the confirmation from the manager or the architect, whoever it is.
Okay.
Okay, so that also we can do it. So that for those cases only we'll be using script component and all. So tomorrow I'll show you the simple program, how to write a simple program in the C# and then how to execute that, how to debug it.
Okay.
Okay, so while debugging and execution, I'll show you how we'll use this row count variable there.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, so row count will be used in this script task and script component itself. So one more thing we have, right? Script task. So here also on edit script, VSTA does different instance, it will be open for Visual Studio. wherein we need to write a code again. So this is also a similar kind of thing. So in the script components, there are two types. In data flow also we have, in the control flow also we have.
Okay.
Okay. So another thing, let's come to the main thing, lookup. This is over this import column. Let's finish import column, then I'll come to the important thing. So what does this import column do is, it reads the data from files and adds it as a new column in the data flow. So suppose I have a file with images, all the images in the directory. I have stored in one directory all the images. So those images, if I want to store it in a database as a separate column. So you know how the images will be stored in a database, in which data type it will be storing?
No, ma'am.
It will be stored as a blob. Have you heard of blobs? No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it will be stored as a blob data type. So images. So here I'm importing a column.
Okay.
Let's change the source here. I don't want DB source. Let's change a source flat file. Yeah. So this source is coming from flat file. Okay, I want birth date, email address. Okay, I want only email address. I just want to import email address. Just want to get the email address from the flat file, not all the columns. So here I'm getting error because what happened? No, it's not found on the output. So the column which we are importing from here, it should be already created into the destination table itself. As we do not, we didn't create any column name with this, so it is not accepting.
Okay.
So whenever you
Okay.
want to import a column from a flat file, normally this import column will use for all the images, videos. If like for the huge files, we'll be using this one import column, not for the simple one. So for those
Okay.
things, we'll be using this import column, and we'll just select that column and we'll insert into the existing table. And the existing table, before doing this exercise, we need to ensure that we do have created a column and a data type for that column, right? So when I'm not creating a new column, I'm just importing a column. So that with that column name and the data type has to be there in the destination table also. So in the destination
Okay.
table, you have to alter the table and add the column name and the data type there. So normally we don't use this. This is only used for file like heavy files or heavy images and video files and all.
Okay.
Now let's come to the lookup, which we use very regularly. So you have done the lookup. Okay. So what does lookup does? So suppose I am getting a, show you. I'm getting a location transaction. There is a location transaction table. Suppose there is a location transaction table where I'm getting as a location name as a location name as what I'm getting. Paint shop, framing. Okay, something as ABC in the source file.
Okay.
So this is my source file wherein I'm getting a location name as, in one of the records I'm getting a location name as ABC. Now, so as you remember, we have two types of files. One is the transaction file, one we have as a master file.
Okay.
Okay, so master means all the locations will be stored in that table, the information, everything will be stored in the table itself. So now what I need to do is I'm getting a raw data. This is a raw data. I have not done any cleansing activity. I have not done any transformation here. This is just getting it from the source. I'm getting as a ABC as a location name. Now, what, as per the business requirements, what we have to do is we have to check whether this ABC location is there in my master table or not. So if the ABC is stored in the master table, then only I'll take this ABC, I'll consider this ABC record into my further transformation. Otherwise, I'll delete that record. I'll delete that record as it is a corrupted record. So if in the location, see, I don't have ABC. In my location master table, I don't have a location name with ABC. That means the ABC is not a valid one. The location name is not a valid one. I'll just ignore it, or I'll just want to delete that unwanted records. So what we are doing is we are checking it in the master table whether we have this value or not. If there is, if it is a matching, like if I put as a paint, if the location comes as a paint, paint is there in the master table. It exists in the master table. That means paint is a valid location. Okay. So whenever the value exists in any of the master table, in its respective master table, that means the value is a valid one. Otherwise, the value is invalid. That is how we have to remember it. Any value, not only for the location, any value which comes in the transaction table, we have to check in the master tables. Even it is a location, if it's an address, even it is an employee master, even it is a product master, for everything we have a master tables there. So we have to check those values in the master table. If it exists in the master table, the value is valid one. If the value doesn't exist in the master table, it is an invalid. We can delete those records. Okay,
Okay.
so this check
Okay.
do in the lookup transformation. So this is my reference table. In the lookup
Okay.
transformation, my master table is my reference table. Do So this thing I'll show you later. First, let's go with connection. So I taken as one table as this is my master table. Suppose this is my address master table. We'll just assume this is my address master table. I'll add a columns with I need to do the mapping. Here I can see only row UID, and mapping it. So this is on the lookup operation. I'm selecting row UID. So it will select row UID in the reference table, whether it is existing in the reference table or not. This is my source table. This is my reference table. So
Okay.
if row GID exists in the reference table, so then there will be one output, and if doesn't exist in the row GID in the reference table, then it will be stored in a different output. Here the
Okay.
same, we can put it as add as a new column, or we can replace the present column, existing column also. See, we have two outputs. One is the lookup, which is matching output, the lookup with no matching output.
Okay.
So lookup will always have two outputs. One with matching and one with non-matching.
Unmatching.
So
Okay.
matching output means the records which are existing in the reference table comes under matching output. The
Okay.
records which do not exist in the reference table comes under no matching output. So why we separate it out is when there is a match, there is no problem. We'll consider these records as a final table and will proceed with the flow. But what about these things? In these records, we have no match records. That means those records are not there in my master table. So what I'll do is I'll extract that information and I'll go for an approval to the client or to the architect what we have to do with these records, whether I can delete it or we have to do any data cleansing activity on it. We'll ask two things for the architect or client, like if really these records are invalid and corrupted. So if so, we can delete it. And if it is not, we can update it with the valid columns, valid data. So this is, so this output will go for approval thing. And normal flow will flow like this. Only this will go for approval. And that according to the approval and the approach, the business like they decide, we have to go forward. So directly we cannot delete without any approvals from the architect or from any client. Okay, remember. So this is for the lookup. So we have multiple types of lookup. Okay, sorry, one thing I forgot to tell. Yeah, cache mode. So we have cache mode. So this cache, you know, right? What is cache?
Yeah, I know, ma'am. Temporary memory.
Yeah, temporary memory. So if I put no cache, it every time creates it will not store in the memory, and it will every time it creates as if it is a new operation. So if we want to consume less time, we can go with full cache. Otherwise, we can go with no cache. And here, before doing that, here we have to put as redirect rows to no match output. Otherwise, it will not go.
Okay.
Here we have redirect rows to error output also. Fail
Mm-hmm.
component, ignore failure, redirect rows to no match component. So if we put this, then only this part will be working.
Okay.
Otherwise, this won't work. It will throw an error.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so this we have to make sure whether we have selected this or not. And if we want to ignore no match output, it's fine. Ignore failure, remove this. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
That is also fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with other lookup. What we have other lookup, fuzzy lookup, fuzzy lookup, fuzzy lookup. So in the fuzzy lookup also we do have a reference table. The same concept but little bit different thing. I'll show the same concept.
Okay.
Concept is same, but we will have new created extra columns.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? So this is a threshold. I'll show you why this is configured. I'm putting it as 92, 94, 95%. This is in percent, 95%. Here it is showing us 0.95. Maximum number of matches, let it be 1. Go to the destination. OLDB destination. See, two newly created columns came up. One is with underscore similarity. One is with underscore confidence. This two I haven't created. It is created whenever I configured fuzzy lookup task. Okay, so what does this mean? I'll show you. See, underscore similarity, underscore confidence. Spatial location is not supported. Spatial location. Spatial. I'll take one more table then. So another table. See, one more drawback of SSIS is now I have changed the table here in the source, but it will not refresh here. The metadata will not be refreshed here. We have to delete it and we have to again configure it. That is the main drawback of SSIS.
Okay.
Everything, it will not be refreshed dynamically. We have to put everything in here. Fuzzy join. lookup column. Some data types are not supported in this fuzzy lookup. In the fuzzy lookup, we have to make sure that it only supports Unicode characters, Unicode data types. That is why we are getting a problem here. To make sure this. Yeah, I can show you. So what I've put it as phone number as my lookup column, right? So I can show you without executing this. Right. I have put a phone number as a lookup column.
Okay.
So I have source. I have one more table as reference, which is nothing but my master. So what it will do is, what the task will do is, something like this. Phone number is there in the source. It will check whether this phone number exists in the master table or in the reference table or not.
Okay.
If it exists with the same value, if the match is same with all the characters in the source and all the characters in the reference, if it is matching, then in the similarity column, I'll get a value 1.
Okay.
I'll get a value 1. So if I get a value 1 in this underscore similarity, it means that it is an exact match happened. Exact match means match happened with every character of that string.
Okay.
And the one more column is confidence. So confidence tells you in the percentage level, and it gives you in a decimal. If this comes like this, 0.99, that means the SQL Server engine is 99% confident that these two are exact match.
Okay.
SQL Server is 99% confident on this exact match. And if it is not confident, it will tell you like this, 56. That means it is SQL Server engine is just 56% confident on this match. That means there can be some spaces over here. There can be some spaces over here. It is not sure. It is just 56% sure. And if it tells it is 95% or 96% sure, that means we do not want to intervene there. And if it tells like 56 or 67, then we have to intervene and check manually what is the match exactly happened or not.
Okay.
So this confidence is the percentage of the confident on the similarity. Okay, got it? So this is how the fuzzy lookup will work. And fuzzy lookup will work only on the Unicode strings, not other data types. Like we saw that. So it is not accepting all the data types. It will not accept all the
Okay.
data. That is the main drawback of the fuzzy lookup. And in many business scenarios, will not be using this fuzzy lookup. Only very rare cases, wherever we have a requirement only on the Unicode characters, we'll be using this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So any doubts till now? So tomorrow we can go with a script component in a detailed way, a simple program. I'll show you how to debug it also.
Okay,
In a
ma'am.
script component
Term lookup.
along with debugging also.
Okay.
Yeah, how to debug it.
Okay, ma'am.
And I sent you the screen like PPTs of layer
Yeah, I saw
previous
that,
class,
ma'am.
right? You received it?
Yes, ma'am, I received it.
Okay
Videos I
then.
did not receive it. PPTs only I received it.
Videos I too don't have. You have to ask Mind Magics. Let me connect
Okay.
with them. I'll check. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah, bye.